Am I the asshole for getting a DNA test to see if I shared the same DNA as both my parents, even though I was demanded specifically by my mom not to do so since I was a child? I don't know, let's get into it. This post is longer than originally intended. You've all been warned. So I, 19 female, have always wanted to get a DNA test after weird suspicion that I might not be related to both or at least one of my parents. My mom, 39 female, we'll call her Alexa, had always treated me and my brother, 18 male, who is only a year younger than me, very differently. I would always get hit more than him. I would get in more trouble, even if he did the same bad thing I did as a child. She was usually more affectionate with him than me. And Alexa would always go through my iPod, iPhone growing up and hit me for any minor or big things she found. Never went through my brother's phone, even after he got his girlfriend at the time pregnant when he was only 16. He never got grounded for more than a day, where I would be grounded for weeks on end. I was seen as the rebel child, but now that I'm older, I feel as though I did what a lot of dumb kids and teenagers would have done. Just not as bad as Mo. Anyway, my dad, 41, has never had much of an opinion on me taking a DNA test and is very nonchalant about everything. Mainly because Alexa low-key controls him in some weird way that works for them. We weren't close, and he was barely present. I've always wanted to get tested somehow to see if we share the same DNA, but when I lived with my family, I knew that'd never be possible. But I now live with my spouse, 1,000 miles away from where I used to live, and for almost 2 years now, due to the toxicity and not being happy. So I finally said, screw it, and paid for a DNA test. When me and my wife recently went to visit my family for the holidays last month, we were playing a card game, and one of my cards said, drink if you ever gotten a DNA test. And I drank, slowly, just to test and see Alexa's reaction. Her mood changed instantly to, you're fucking joking, right? Are you stupid? And the table went quiet, and my wife gave me the loneliest scared look. And I panicked because I thought she would have felt differently about it by now, considering I don't live with her, so it technically wasn't her decision. I said I was joking and awkwardly laughed. The reason why I thought Alexa would change her mind is because her oldest sister got a DNA test done in August of 24, and it connected a relative, and it ended up being Alexa's and her sister's long-lost sister that they didn't even know they had. I guess it's different in this case because I'm Alexa's daughter, but still. I sent out my kit mid-December, and I'm supposed to get my results back around the beginning to mid-February. I don't know if I even have the guts to open it when the time comes because it feels like ultimate betrayal to my mother. I promised her growing up that I'd never do it, and I did it anyways because she couldn't physically stop me. Time out a minute. The fact that your mother was making you promise growing up that you would never take a DNA test is absolutely absurd. So one of two things. I mean, if we're going to just get fantastical, we can go with the typical, either your mom cheated and you have a different father, or we could go with, I don't know, witness protection program. I mean, like, that's the only thing I could think of that would be a justified reason for you to never send your DNA. But at the same time, if somebody else in the family did before, then that throws that idea right out the window. Your mom's up to some bullshit. I think your dad knows. I think your dad wants you to know, which is why he's being so nonchalant about it. Because, hey, if you find out, he didn't tell you. But let's get back to the story. Oh, and another thing I thought I'd add. I have a different last name than any of my family members, extended included. My mom has her family last name until she got it hyphenated to add my dad's last name. My father and my brother shared the same last name as well. Whenever I would question it, Alexa would react defensively, never actually telling me where it came from or why I'm the only person from both sides of my family with that last name, because it's probably your bio father's last name. I also don't have my parents' features, but my brother looks like a male version of my mom. Both of my parents have freckles on their faces and body. I don't have any. I have some green in my eyes. my family all have dark brown. This and some more minor situation. I am so used to being honest and open with my mother, so this feels like a huge stab in the back that I can't help but feel guilty for getting a DNA test to begin with. My curiosity was eating me alive, and it was an impulsive purchase to give me a peace of mind. I'm stuck between telling my parents about the DNA test regardless of what it says, if I even decide to see what it says. With that being said, am I the asshole for purchasing something against Alexa's wishes through my childhood that could potentially ruin family relationships? Edit to add. Alexa, my mother, claimed at the delivery room when giving birth to me, nobody was at the delivery room. Then later, when brought up again, she claims her mom and her two sisters were there with her. She claimed my dad was not in the delivery room because he was sleeping at his home. But then years later, she told me they were broken up when she had me and was pregnant with me. But my dad was there throughout it all when it came to my little brother's delivery and her pregnancy. Alexa has also randomly told me about how her ex-boyfriend had tried reaching out to her 2 or 3 years ago, and she blocked him and ignored it. I tried asking why he tried to reach out after all these years, and she got defensive and randomly didn't want to talk about it. Another odd interaction we had once was when I was much younger, and I asked about Alexa's boyfriends before my dad. She told me she didn't want to tell me about him because she thought I'd say something stupid. She told me about him after I kept pushing, and she told me she got pregnant by him, but she had had a miscarriage. She didn't say how it could have happened, but she just did. Then I made a silly joke as a kid and said, imagine if he was my dad, as I'm always making jokes about me being adopted. She got really angry and yelled at me for saying stupid shit. Also, Alexa has always been so secretive and weird about my documents whenever I needed them for school, etc. And always refuses to give me my birth certificate because I'll lose it and I'm irresponsible. Alexa gave me all my documents other than my birth certificate. Now that I think of it, I've asked for it God knows how many times, but I don't think I've ever seen it before. But I will have to check to see if I possibly have it and may have skipped past it. How'd you get your driver's license? Would have required a copy, just saying. Second edit. I will be getting a new birth certificate to find out whose names are on there. It doesn't necessarily mean if my dad's name is on there that he is my bio dad. I did get my last name fully changed when me and my wife got married. Considering my last name was of no significance and had no meaning, this won't interfere with the results, right? No, your last name does not interfere with your DNA results as your DNA is not tattooed with your surname. Just saying. Note, guys, you do not need a birth certificate to get married. Look it up. All they asked for was mine and my wife's proof of identification. We only used our IDs. Correct, but you do need to use your birth certificate to get a state ID or driver's license. How'd you get that?